Now, while the US focused on restructuring the auto industry to provide it a solid base for the future, in Europe, things have gone completely the wrong way. The lack of a common vision hampered and continues to hamper efforts to address deeply rooted structural problems. Every member state followed its own course of action, some even providing direct aid to domestic automakers in what some have viewed as a blatant contravention of the Treaty of Rome. This interventionist attitude put some national players in more advantageous positions than others, distorting the equilibrium of the European common market and artificially preserving unproductive capacity. And these responses underscore the reality that Europe is living in a kind of halfway house, combining a peculiar notion of monetary union with limited economic, fiscal, or political convergence among the member states. Now, the Financial Times contrasted the US and the European approaches in a recent editorial. It says, car making is plagued by chronic overcapacity. Manufacturers today have the means to make 94 million cars a year, but we can sell only 64. Any intervention to tide the company over a short-term crisis must in return address this oversupply. And the US rightly let Chrysler and General Motors file for bankruptcy before issuing loans to help with the necessary restructuring. And that gave the government the freedom and the power to shake things up. At the same time, in Europe, politicians deflected by special interests were unwilling to close unproductive plants. And so there appears to be no immediate, obvious answer to the European conundrum. But time is running out for all European car makers. The industrial and the political leadership of Western European countries must jointly find the will and the determination to address the uncompetitiveness of the overall system. I have no doubts that it will ultimately happen. I, unfortunately, just don't know when. And I don't want to stand here and sound like a Eurosceptic. But Europe today is still a large repository of technology and a leading-edge capabilities provider in car making. And Chrysler's global alliance with Fiat is an example of a positive international creative response to our new realities. It offers the opportunity for efficiencies in development and engineering and purchasing and manufacturing and distribution. Now, the urgency for this partnership came from a global economic crisis that erupted towards the end of 2008, which closed capital markets and forced Chrysler to seek government assistance in order to survive and to restructure. The common opinion at the time was that Chrysler was doomed and that the government assistance that was being handed out amounted to throwing good money after bad. And for a while, there seemed to be a real competition to write the most clever obituary before the body had turned even cold. I don't want to dwell today on the factors that brought Chrysler to the edge of extinction. I prefer to talk about what we've done to change the conversation. The governments of the US and Canada gave us a second chance and the opportunity to build a future. They showed leadership and political courage by demonstrating faith in the people of Chrysler, even though it was not a universally popular decision. For nearly 2 years, we lived every single day mindful that we owed a debt of gratitude to those who allowed us to survive, yet conscious of the moral responsibility to repay not just the loans, but the faith that these people have placed in us. I remember how analysts and the press reacted when we announced that within a short period of time we would fully renew our product range and get our financial house back in order. I remember the skeptical and patronizing looks on their faces. We didn't give up. Those of you who had the good fortune to discover Alice in Wonderland as children might remember the dialogue between Alice and the Queen and Through the Looking Glass. Alice said, "There's no use trying. One can't believe impossible things." "I dare say you haven't had much practice," said the Queen. "When I was younger, I always did it for half an hour a day. And why sometimes I even believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast." And that is exactly the exercise that we went through. We dared to dream, and we delivered on that dream. In just 19 months, we presented 16 all-new or significantly refreshed products to the market. We have undertaken what I consider to be an incredibly profound transformation of our organization by introducing a new culture which is based on meritocracy and on accountability. And this transformation goes all the way to the manufacturing plant floor, where our processes are designed to free up employees to use their abilities and experience to eliminate waste, all kinds of waste. The people that work at Chrysler today have acquired the courage to strive for greatness. They have embraced the challenge of competition. It is a notion that they cherish and that they nurture. And it is a mindset that is finally producing results. On May 24th, we paid back with interest all the loans that were given to us by the US and the Canadian governments, some 6 years ahead of schedule. We are now achieving consistent, solid share gains in all of our markets, driven by consumer acceptance of our rejuvenated product portfolio. And last week, we announced our second quarter results, which show a continued improvement in our operational and our financial performance. After achieving a net income of $160 million in the first quarter of this year, which was our first quarterly net income since we emerged from bankruptcy on June 10, 2009, we ended up with a net income for the second quarter of $181 million, excluding a non-cash, non-recurring charge of over $500 million from the repayment of our government loans. Our worldwide sales were up 19% versus the same period last year, and our sales growth is now outpacing the market. In the US, Q2 market share was 10.6%. That was up from 9.4% the year before. And in Canada, market share climbed to 14.9% in the second quarter, compared with 12.9% in the period in 2010. And the results that we announced yesterday for July are a further confirmation of the progress that we have made thus far. We're changing both the image and the substance of our group, and we're regaining the faith of the public at large, and even more importantly, of our customers. Now, you probably remember the commercial that we aired during this year's Super Bowl. It caused quite a stir, and the last collective count has attracted close to 19 million online video views. It also won 4 Golden Lions, including one for Best Automotive Commercial at the International Advertising Festival at Cannes in France. And we have just been notified that the commercial itself has been nominated for an Emmy. Now, what I would like to share with you this morning is another video, one which has its origins in the M&M commercial. We showed it to the public just once at the New York Auto Show to launch the Chrysler 300. The video is homage to the culture of action and commitment into our industrial roots. It speaks about hard work and results achieved through resilience and through tireless efforts, about people who are not resigned to their destiny, but redesign the future for themselves day after day. People like those who have rebuilt the Chrysler of today. These are men and women who are free to venture beyond the ordinary and the expected. They're free from prejudices and the limitations of habit. They're free to express their creativity and to break convention. It is thanks to them that our company today, one that has been to hell and back, is still daring to dream. And these people are the best guarantee for our future.